What's going on, good people? You guys know what it is. It's your boy CJ here, live from DC yourself. This is the BKE podcast, and I'm your host for today. We got a special guest. My boy Logic is here today, John Logic himself. Logic, what is good, bro?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me, brother. I
Man,
appreciate you, man. How you been?
man, I've been good, man. I've been good. It's been a while since we actually, been on live, but it is the new year. Happy New Year's, everybody. Man, what's been going on with you though, man? What's been popping?
Man, same thing. Actually, speaking of New Year, going into the New Year, I had caught, I believe, the Marion version of the COVID because it was
Oh
mild.
man.
You know what I mean? So I had to actually spend the holidays segregated in the house from the fam. You know what I'm saying? So that happened. But that was the first time during the whole pandemic I even caught the shit. So that happened.
Damn, that's tough.
Yeah, then I went live New Year's Eve. The tough part, just real quick, out of respect for people who had it bad, the tough part was the whole segregation part, being in the house segregated. Outside of that, I definitely had it easy, right? But I went live New Year's Eve and did like because as some of you may know, we have a channel called the Ranters Union, and we did like the Ranters Union live New Year's Eve live or whatever, right? And I kind of got the venting because I explained to people that I caught it. And then I kind of, between sipping and all that, and just, I don't even think I started sipping yet, to be honest with you, CJ. But if you catch that live before I take it down, I blacked out. I blacked out because I had an
Oh
epiphany.
man.
I had an epiphany during quarantine, brother.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, man, my epiphany is that all humans are stupid. So I, so I kind of had a lot to get off my chest, and I hadn't gone live in a minute. Still haven't really because we haven't brought back the morning rant and the evening rant yet. Other shows that I'm on, but yeah, man, that's what's been going on with me. Just been working outside of that. After I got finished dealing with that bullshit, just been working hard, dealing with all of these clients and all that coming into the new year. A lot of people want to do virtual stuff for since it's winter, so
Most definitely, man.
that's
Best thing is though, you feeling better. You back on your feet. You ready to keep making money. So
right.
that's the plus side of it, man. And like I know the segregation part, especially when you living with other people that don't have it. The segregation is real. So
Yeah.
my mom, she was diagnosed with COVID as well before the new year. And so just not being able to be around her and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It took a lot on her, took a lot on her health. So I just told her, you gotta make sure that you out here protecting yourself first, you know what I'm saying? So, those people who don't wanna get the shot, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you're protecting yourself, you're staying safe, you're doing what you need to do to stay immune. If you guys do get the shot, please still wear your mask.
I was
Just
about to say, everybody protect yourself.
yeah, everybody protect
Everybody
yourself,
protect
man.
yourself. And first off, how's your mom's doing? She good?
Yeah, man, she's good, man. She acting like she ain't have it. She's just like walking. She full strength. So yeah, man, it's real out here. Shit, real out here, man.
What I, what
So
I, what I learned, what I was starting to say before we change the subject, what I learned was that the mask will stop you from spraying your aerosol all crazy, not fully, but all crazy, right? And make it easy to spread when you're sick. So really, if you have a mask on, especially if it's a regular mask and you got all the entry points and shit, it's not going to stop you from getting it. You know what I mean?
right,
That's what I learned.
right,
I had my mask on when I caught it. So it's not going to stop you from getting it, but it will stop you from spreading. So out of respect for people, if you're not in a confined situation where, you go to your family's house and maybe y'all take a rapid test and y'all do a gathering or whatever, or y'all just trust each other. If you're not in a situation like that, you know, show respect to the general public and don't spread what you might have. You know what I mean?
exactly, most definitely. So on that note, we're gonna kick it in gear. We're gonna kick it in gear. We got a few things that we do want to talk about. With the topic of the night being men and women stop the bashing. There's been a lot of bashing between both of the genders lately. It's just been crazy. Whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, but we're gonna talk about it. So I hope you guys are ready to buckle your seatbelts, man, because we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. All right, so let's just go into it. Fat Joe fashion choices. Fat Joe gets clowned by Nori, on his sense of fashion choice lately. And I mean, when you're a celebrity, you want to stick with the highest trends, right? So, what Fat Joe decides to wear is this right here. You know, it was the boots for me. Like, it was the boots for me. I like the jacket. Jacket looks a little small, but I guess because you got the hoodie on. But I don't know, man. It's funny, like people like to keep up with the trends. Logic, what is your thoughts on this, man?
Um, oh man, I'm gonna just say first off, growing up in New York, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say what a lot of people don't say loud enough, and I remember a time when Fat Joe was definitely hard. You know what I'm saying. I'm talking before the lean back shit and all of that. You know what I mean.
Right.
I actually used to fuck with a couple joints he had back in the day or whatever. I just want to say that first and foremost. But like most people, he definitely keeping up with the trends. Most people we still see. You know what I'm saying? Most people who's
Facts.
still around. At very least, you got your most gangster rapper from the golden age wearing tight pants to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
at very least, is real slim and all that. You know what I mean? So nobody really, keeping it golden era like that. That's still active in the entertainment industry. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
but the boots was a little too much for me. And you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. You got the picture, right?
Yeah, yeah, I got the picture.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just yeah, it's the boots. It's the boots that was that just made it go over the top. I think he would have got away with the outfit in general. You know what I'm saying? But
Like,
the boots is. I'm not with all them big space sneakers and space boots niggas.
yeah, like it wasn't even a lot of snow outside, so I don't know why. What was the reason for wearing the boots? Like I said, you can wear what you want to wear. You know what I'm saying? You're a celebrity, but those boots is just too big for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe if it was 6 years ago, the boots would have fit you well, Petey. You know what I'm saying? But man, man, this was hilarious, man. I had
That's
to
the
I had to
style.
definitely. You said what?
My fault. I said that's the style now, right? Everybody wears
Yeah,
big bulky sneakers, big bulky boots. Them
it,
shits look like space boots and shit. They not wearing that
right,
them Kanye joints. So.
right. Like I said, the jacket looks a little small, but I would give him that because he wearing a hoodie as well. But is how they wear it up there? Is this how they wear the jackets and the hoodies with the hoodies? Up in the north.
Nah, we can't blame no style on nowhere. You know what I mean? Like we live in the information age, going the
Right.
information age. Like motherfuckers is in Texas talking like they from Brooklyn. Motherfuckers is in Brooklyn talking like they from Chicago. Motherfuckers is in motherfucking Cleveland talking like they from LA. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas in Detroit rapping like they from the Bay. So we really can't say, oh, because that's a North thing, right?
Right.
That's a Fat Joe. I'm getting money. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I'm ready to still do business with y'all niggas thing. That's not a no area thing. You know what I mean? That's an industry thing, if anything. That's an industry thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
The Yeezy boots look dumb, period, especially if you can't rock it right, and those look better with baggy pants. Here's the thing about the Yeezys, right? For me, like Yeezys, they look like dinosaur fossils on your feet. Now I do like the mesh sneakers that he got out, right? I like the mesh sneakers that he got with Adidas that the basketball players are wearing. Those look cool. You know what I'm saying? I would actually probably rock a pair of those.
Mm.
But these other shoes, you know what I'm saying, that just get look like some futuristic alien space tech. I'm like, nah, fam, you can't catch me outside wearing those. It's just that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood now.
And people who want to be Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. That too. Definitely, definitely. Um, moving on. This has actually been breaking the news in the last 24 hours. Is Tom Brady is possibly done with the NFL. It's crazy because I never thought, we always know that there comes a time where, that player is going to retire, right? But what would an NFL look like without having Tom Brady inside of the NFL? So the retirement isn't official yet. I know from what I read is that he talked to the general manager of Tampa, and he said that he's thinking about his future, his family, and health concerns. So I mean, that sounds like it's a retirement, but he might pull a Brett Favre and say, "Hey, I'm gonna come back, try to win one more Super Bowl if I can." I mean, it's going to be weird not seeing Tom Brady inside of the NFL.
Right. Well, I'm gonna just say this about retirement in general. Usually, when somebody is retiring and they're great at their craft and it has anything to do with entertainment, usually they just come back for a bigger bag. So,
Most definitely.
so for those of you who don't want him to go nowhere, there's still hope. But you
It's
the
still
sports guy, you gotta give us your honest, objective feedback. What is it gonna look like without him coming from you?
honestly, it's going to be real weird not hearing the name Tom Brady on the field anymore. If this retiring is legit. I know that there was a few sources. Adam Schefter, he posted on Twitter saying that he's officially retired. But when you go and look deep into it, the only thing that you really see is the only thing that you really see is that he's thinking about retirement. He talked to the general manager about his future with the NFL and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not sure if he's going to stay with Tampa. Not sure if he's going to stay in the NFL in general. So, but in the last 24 hours, there's been this big tweet saying that Tom Brady is officially retired. So everybody is just going crazy. Everybody is going nuts because Tom Brady is officially hanging up his cleats. But I just want to say that this is not official yet. This is not official yet. We will see in about the next month or two. We will see in about the next month or two to see where Tom Brady is at. With the NFL.
Can I ask you a couple sports related questions?
What's up?
Are you how off? Excuse me. How old is the average football retiree?
That is actually a good question. I say the average football retiree is,
Yeah, if you want to guesstimate.
yeah, between the age of 37 to 40. You're like, yeah, and honestly, that's recently. A lot of guys that you see retire at the age from 32 to 35. But when you see these guys like Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, these guys and Brett Favre, these guys were retired at the age of 38, 39, 40. So, I mean, the retirement age is, getting longer as, more players are saying, hey, I want to keep trying a few more years if the stipulation is correct. Meaning, if this is a championship caliber team and I ain't got to do too much, then I can stay for the next couple of years. But if I go on a team that's in a rebuilding mode, I'm not gonna survive that long.
I don't got the patience for that. I looked him up, and he's 44 years old, bro.
Yeah.
He got to get the fuck out of there. I'm gonna take the less travel road. I know y'all would love to see him in there. He got to get the fuck out of there, man.
I mean, listen,
Before he get
when
hurt for real, man.
they're like 44 years old in the NFL, like people say, oh, but he's in such good shape. I'm like, good shape in the NFL is all good and all, but you still 44 years old playing in the NFL, and it's contact sport, So,
Is
um,
that, and then on top of that, my thing is you got away with it for this long. You know
got
what I
away
mean?
with it for so long, man.
You got to know when to quit when you ahead. You know what I mean? Like he's Tom Brady. His name is synonymous with football. He's 44 years old. If he leave now, he gonna be all right. He can sell fucking Foreman grills, Tom Brady grills. He can do whatever he want, right? But he can't do
Absolutely,
that shit if somebody knock his head off in
man. Hell yeah.
the next season.
Hell yeah. Like my whole thing is if you're gonna retire, retire. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to stay another season and then you break your whole leg. And then it's like, damn, Tom Brady, we thought you was gonna retire without having any major injuries. I think this the last game Tom Brady played recently was the first time I've seen him like bust a lip and they called a flag on him for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So
So I
let me
was
ask
like,
my fault. Go ahead.
nah, go ahead.
No, so I was gonna ask you because when you say he bust a lip and all that, like, do you think after a certain amount of time in the game that they started showing him favoritism, like making sure you can't fuck him up? Have you ever seen anything like that?
Um, I hate to be that guy, but I do see it a lot, and this is just when you just the best player in that sport in general. Like we see it with LeBron James in the NBA. Like people hate to say it, like he is skilled, he is talented, but there is a little bit of favoritism with LeBron James, and this is how it is with Tom Brady. There's just a little bit of favoritism with Tom Brady inside of the NFL, and that's just if you the goat, you the goat. I mean, that's what happens when you the goat. You know what I'm saying? Even when Magic Johnson was the goat in the NBA, when Michael Jordan was the goat in the NBA, there was favoritism. When you're the best, when you're the best in the league, this is the perks of being the best in the league. You get favoritism treatment, and that's just what it is.
So they keep him from getting hurt then a little bit.
Yeah, they keep them getting hurt. They keep them from getting hurt. They try to prolong things. That's why you see a lot of quarterback penalties now. With roughing the passer, and there's a lot of stipulations on that. The way you tackle now is just different, and of course, it's mainly because of the amount of concussions that has been going on inside of the NFL and just in football. Period. Um, but Tom Brady just need to hang up the cleats. You had a phenomenal career. Your career goes unmatched. 7 Super Bowl rings. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want? Right? Like,
Facts.
I don't think we will see another quarterback the way to have 7 Super Bowl rings. That's just me. I don't think it's gonna happen anymore.
He's gonna make more money off the field.
Exactly. Exactly. He's gonna make more money off the field. Mrs. Tay said Mrs. Tay J says Easy Boost look dumb period. No, that's hold on, wait, my bad. That's the wrong one. She said, let him go. I'm glad if it's true, go enjoy your life. Aaron Rodgers can go too. Enjoy your life. Let these other quarterbacks shine. And that's another thing too. I'm actually glad you said that. That's the wifey, y'all. Just just to let y'all know. But she loves football just as much as I do. But actually, I'm with her on this. Where there's a lot of young guys in the NFL now, right? But when you see these guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, like it's still those guys who still lingering on for these guys who got drafted back in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
We see Drew Brees, he retired. Phillip Rivers, he retired. So now we're just waiting for these other guys to retire, like Matt Stafford, and then now we got Tom Brady, who possibly is retiring. But I think you just need to pass the torch, let these young guys shine, let it be the next cycle of greatness,
Right.
and
He gotta get the fuck out of there before he.
like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to be the nice guy about it because it's like it's Tom Brady. He should play as long as he wants.
Right.
But then on the other hand, I've seen a guy that came back at 40 years old and wanted to try to win a Super Bowl, and he got injured numerous of times. His name was Brett Favre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, just get the fuck out of there. Like, don't even try. You know what I'm saying? Just hang up the cleats, and ain't no need for you to make more money. And honestly, I don't even think it's about the money now for Tom Brady. I just think that in Tom Brady's mind, it's like, what can I do after the NFL?
Everything. But you know what? He might be thinking that, or it might be like when people just need one more. Let me get one more. Let me.
Just one more.
I want 9. I want 8 rings.
Just
Fuck it. Let me
just
get 9
just one
rings.
more.
Let me get 10 rings. I'll be the
Just
first. You know what I'm saying? So
and just like I said, if you the goat, and the favoritism is working your path,
you say he got 7 rings though.
7 Super Bowl rings.
Listen, man, you got a ring for every day of the week. Leave it alone, man.
like like you wake up in the morning, it's like it's Sunday. Let me wear my Sunday Super Bowl ring. Up, it's
Right?
Tuesday. It's time for that Tuesday Super Bowl ring. You
Yeah,
got a ring for every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So
gotta leave
I
it alone.
mean, he want to go for an eighth though. He might win an eighth, and if the cards play in his favor, he could definitely win another ring. So
Right, right.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Whew. Moving on, I actually want to talk about this because this has been a real, sort of like a big issue, but hasn't really been broadcasted. The HBO hit series Euphoria is a big series. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys can go watch it. But Dare, if you guys know Dare, we all know Dare, with the lion, who's actually is like on drug awareness. They blame HBO for promoting drugs, sex, and addiction and violence amongst teenagers. And
We got a
and
we got a couple retroactive comments you might want to read before we move on because this sound good, man. Just one love. What's up, sis?
just what Pittsburgh fan, huh? Yep, Big Ben is another one. I forgot about him. Big Ben retired as well. Thank you for actually letting us know that. Uh, Damn, Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady is
Let,
possibly retiring.
let
Yeah,
him
I know.
go. Let him go, sis. Let him go. Let him go. All right, man. My fault. This
No,
sound.
no, you
So
good. You
I'm ready.
good.
I'm ready. Let's reintroduce it, man. Because this
All
is
right, so yeah. So Euphoria drug problem, DARE. If you guys don't know them, it's a drug awareness program that's been around for years, putting light and shedding light on drug awareness. But they blaming HBO for promoting drugs, sex, and addiction amongst the youth and the teenagers. And if you guys haven't seen Euphoria, it's a lot of drugs being used, a lot of violence, and a lot of sex. These kids are only only in high school. So I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 on this, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just a show. But this show can be a show that a lot of teenagers are coming home and watching, for coming home and watching. You know what I'm saying? So, it's the matter of where does it stop and where does it end? You
what
know what I'm saying?
I never seen the show, so I finally caught up on some shows in my little quarantine moment, but that's not one that I caught up on. Virginia Slim salute. He says,
Virginia's
why
yeah.
don't you blame the parents for subscribing to HBO? These punk ass kids ain't paying for no streaming service. It's a real good point.
Uh, so here's the thing, right? I want to say this. You're right. Blame the parents for for subscribing to HBO, but HBO is sort of like a package deal when you paying for cable, But when you are paying for cable, they do promote parental control. They do promote that, so I can see where you're going with Virginia Slim. So like I said, man, this is a very big topic because I'm very big on the youth and what's changing inside of the youth. It's another topic that we actually going to touch on right after this. But as far as like this issue right here with the show Euphoria, the show Euphoria is pretty much it's it's a TV show with Zendaya. Zendaya is inside of it. If anybody knows Zendaya, um, it's about a show about these teenagers. It's pretty much like an American teen drama. It's an American teen drama. Uh, if you haven't read the novel, then people who read the novel already know what this is. What it's about.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you what it's about? Because you've seen it, right?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen
Right.
bits and pieces.
So,
I couldn't get into it because I'm not a big Zendaya fan. That's just me.
okay,
So
but they were doing drugs. They were smoking weed and all that. They was popping pills or what?
yeah, yeah. So It's pretty much the show follows a group of high school students through their experiences of identity, trauma, drugs, friendship, loves, and sex.
Okay.
So,
So they doing everything on the board. You know, we had a movie when we was young. We had a movie called Kids. I would like
mhm.
anybody complaining about this show to watch
Yeah,
a movie called Kids.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So my thing is this, right? And I tell people all the time, we live in a different era now, right?
True.
Where people just get fucking offended by the smallest shit. Like people just get offended by the smallest shit. Like you can say some shit right now, Logic, and in 10 years, it's like, oh, Logic said that he ain't got no problem with the show Euphoria, and now my kid he died from drug abuse. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that happened 10 years ago. So it's just the world that we live in now. So I'm just like, man, like like I get why you speaking up about it, and I hope that there comes like some type of bridge or middleman against it. But I think honestly this comes back into parenting. Like it's come back to parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like you control what your kids watch on HBO. You know what I'm saying? You can control what your kids watch on HBO. You can control what your kids watch on cable because they got parental controls with a lot of these cable providers. Can't tell me that they do. You can't tell me that they don't because they do.
Right. But
That's just how I feel
let's
about it.
play devil's advocate though, right? Is
Mhm.
this show targeted towards children? Is it targeted towards young teenagers?
And that's another thing. Like the whole setting is in high school.
But yo, Cobra Kai, the whole setting is in high school, but that's all for 30 and up. Cobra Kai, that's the, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like that's, I mean, granted, it's based on an old ass film, right? But it's not, that shit ain't for the teenagers. They don't want to watch that shit. That's for us.
yeah, they are using illicit drugs. They're using, pill popping, weed. Um, so it's just different. It's like pill popping, weed, alcohol. Everything that falls under like addiction. So the the actual this production was written by Sam Levinson, who is one of the executive producers of the show, and he based a series of his own experiences as a teenager, including his struggles with anxiety, depression, and drug addiction. He said there's consistent anxiety that I think exists in this generation that I think informed the whole filmmaking process. So, when Derek came out with this, I was I'm with you on playing devil's advocate of like, what if this is just um a way to put awareness on not only like people only see the drugs, but it's what these teenagers are going through in high school when it comes to anxiety, depression, not having people to talk to. Because let's be honest, when you hear that when you hear that your kids are suffering from depression, the first thing that you're thinking of, well, he ain't never tell me this. It's I'm
Right.
just saying, that's just what it is.
In the light of what you're saying, and in the light of what Virginia Slim saying, because he said another comment, he had another good comment. People are always looking to blame another entity for the problem of their kids. Video games, music, movies, and other media shouldn't have an impact on kids more than parents and peers. I
That
agree
part.
with that, but I do think some media, or it does play a part. You know what I mean? It can play a part, which is why it's used. But I,
That's right.
on the light of what y'all saying, I think that parents should watch that show with their children, right? Because a lot of movies and TV shows are really just conversation pieces, right? They're trying to get a message out there. So if this guy is saying his message is he know what he went through is still happening, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Then that's a conversation piece. So they should watch this shit with their children and really talk about what they seeing, because then they're going to learn even more about their children. Like what you just said, sometimes you don't even know. You don't even know if a person is depressed. Better yet, your child, right? So Your child could be hiding all types of shit, or they could be hiding that they friends that they deal with are dealing with this type of shit, whatever, you know.
No, like, and I'm actually glad you said that because it is truth in that. It is truth in that. So I mean, honestly, bro, like when you look back at it, it's like um, parents look at these shows too, and if your teenagers are really interested inside of the show, ask them why. Let that be like an opening barrier for this conversation that might be something that you possibly don't know about your child.
Yeah,
And look, take it with a grain of salt. I ain't a parent, you know what I'm saying, but I do love kids. I'm very intertwined with the youth in my community. So this whole thing does really stick with me. Like I've seen bits and pieces of Euphoria. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I don't just see the drugs and the sex and all that stuff. Is that I didn't that's what I didn't see. What I seen is these kids are suffering from something. It could have been anything, whether it's addiction, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression. And these things can lead to drugs, sex, and violence. It's a gateway. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
um
And you know what? They could see worse shit on the internet in a TikTok video in 1 minute, and you would have never known, to be honest, right?
exactly.
So this is actually an opportunity to sit down with them for an hour. I don't know how long the show is, but a half an hour, or whatever, and really just have a good talk with your child and watch some shit and even broaden their attention span. Because now with all these TikToks and Instagram videos and all that shit, their attention span is crazy short. You know what I mean? To the point where I don't even know if the film business is going to do good in another 10, 20 years, right? Because who's, who's going to want to watch after being raised on that type of content, an hour
Hmm.
and 20 minutes of a story, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I guess, man, I'm definitely going to be looking more into this story with Dare and HBO and the whole Euphoria thing. Because like I said, something does need to be said, but I think Dare needs to look at it from a whole standpoint of maybe it's shedding awareness instead of them saying that it's promoting. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, you see what Virginia Slim just said?
Is it TikTok had a school shooter challenge about a month ago? Absolutely,
I didn't even know.
absolutely, absolutely, Virginia Slim. And
That's fucking crazy, yo.
yep, definitely
That's
TikTok.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So what did the challenge entail? Could you let us know? Anybody who knows what did it entail? Like, did people
So
pretend, did you see one?
so the last thing that I seen is this is on the news. This was on like the news. Is a kid posted on TikTok. A kid posted on TikTok, of his gun in his lap while in school behind
Wow.
his desk. And they caught him. They called the police and everything. You know what I'm saying? But um, you know, yeah, it's social media in general. Like I tell people, monitor. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta stand over your kids' back, but definitely monitor. What they see on social media. And just try to, instead of telling them not to, try to explain to them and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going on through your child's mind.
Watch
So
watch HBO with your children is what we're telling you. Watch.
these people these days are soft as fuck. It's reality. Now the kids are doing it. Absolutely. Like that's another thing though. Like there's a lot of like older people who's saying these things, and I'm like, yeah, we used to be the motherfuckers though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to be the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
I ain't go to class. I ain't go to class all the time. I was standing in the hallways and shit like that, lingering and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
bro, I
So
didn't go to school until I had a blunt and watched an episode of Jerry Springer. I
Yeah.
that was that was problematic.
Listen, we was watching shit like Uncle Luke and all that shit, BT Uncut, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? We was watching that shit, you know?
Faces of Death. I had the VHS. I'm showing my age. I had the VHS of Faces of Death.
Yeah, you know, so it's man, it's these kids are different. These kids are a different breed, but they are also a reincarnation of what we were when we were teenagers.
Man,
Yeah, my kids' elementary school sent all the parents an email warning about the increased chance of a shooting on a certain day last year due to a viral video urging others to come shoot some shit up. Oh yeah, most definitely.
that's fucking crazy. That's
You
fucking.
know, but I mean, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. But like, my girlfriend's sons, I really, I love them boys myself, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I treat, they are mine. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. I don't see them as, her sons. They are mine. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, like, you gotta be there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about having a mother figure. It ain't about having a father figure. These kids need a parental figure in their life. You know what I'm saying? A parental figure, not a father figure, not a mother figure, a parental figure. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that is just what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Because um,
Well, we get into the part of the show where we talk about the sexism and all that because I agree with you, but I kind of do think that mother and father figure in specific does play a positive role too.
absolutely. So while we talk about that, we're going to talk about the youth upbringing in today's age.
All right.
Um, so of course, we hear it every day. You know how these these young bucks are different than what we were growing up, and honestly, what I say to that is, well, we didn't really have social media growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I didn't really have social media until like my junior year in high school,
Okay.
and that's when MySpace popped. You know what I'm saying? When MySpace popped, I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was there. But I didn't have social media. Like these kids nowadays are being born into the world where social media has taken its course already.
So Facebook has a feature where you can make a messenger for your child. And even though it's a bit against my better judgment, all of my family wants to be able to call my son on a tablet, especially my other family members who have children. So we was forced to use this app. So now my son, he doesn't have a Facebook page, but he already has a DM. He uses it.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
He's 5, bro. He's 5. He has a DM.
Yeah. So you know, my youngest one, he just turned 5. You know, this week on Wednesday,
Happy
right?
birthday to him. Happy birthday.
So the thing is like the way you bring these kids into this world, and she does a very good job. You know what I'm saying? She does a very good job. You know what I'm
Salute to
saying?
her.
And like this, and honestly, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like a parental figure. You know what I'm saying? So she makes sure that they are good at all in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? And I be telling my homies, you know what I'm saying, co-parenting isn't a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you guys can't be in a relationship, that is okay. You know what I'm saying? I get that you grew up with both of your mom and dad in the same household. Sometimes that doesn't always work out. You know what I'm saying, with you and yours. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta show your kids that you know this can work. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys can focus on that child. You know, you can focus on that child without worrying about y'all two differences. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It doesn't always happen like that. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes, dad ain't shit. Sometimes the mom ain't shit. I get it. I hear the whole spiel and everything. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, you know, at least try. At least try. And honestly, I think that a lot of people just don't try to co-parenting and just rather just say fuck it and just let and just roll the dice on it.
Well, I ain't got the numbers on it, but I think it's a great segue into the topic of the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Which is we can't blame one or the other. Like you're saying, they definitely need a figure. But I do believe both are important. And I think more people are trying than once upon a time. I'll say that much. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And um, like you said, it's perfect segue into the topic of the night: men and women stop the bashing.
Stop the blood clot bashing, yo.
Stop the bashing. And I've been seeing it a lot on social media and on TV with these multiple podcasts and stuff like that. Since the pandemic happened, there's been a lot of podcasts, right?
Hmm.
Been a lot of podcasters. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? So, what I've been seeing is a lot of men and women bashing. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure,
And
they get a lot of numbers off of that shit, just like beef, because it is like a beef in itself. But that whole manosphere and whatever else you want to call it, they getting a lot of numbers off of doing the battle of the sexes type shit. You know what I mean?
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Where, whether it's the women saying men ain't shit, whether it's the men saying women ain't shit. And then one of the biggest topics that really gets people blood boiling is the gender roles.
Hmm.
When you start talking about gender roles, man, I'm telling you, just watch how the room flow. Just watch how the room flow. This shit just get fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
I know you heavy on Clubhouse too, so I know you probably heard a lot of that on Clubhouse.
man, telling you, man, if you are on Clubhouse, you understand what I'm saying. There be a bunch of rooms. Like I seen a room the other day saying, women, black women, why do you choose white men over black men? And I'm like, you can't say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not all black women. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I just think just stop the bashing and find a common ground. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like some shit that a woman is doing, then it ain't you.
Yo,
It
I
ain't
like the
you.
fact that this was even a topic though. It's refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Based on because I was looking at a lot of shit the same way. So it's interesting that this was the topic for this particular show because just this week, just this past week, I was looking at a few channels where that's all they do, but it works. It works for them. You know what I mean? So, what do you think about that? As far as like people using that as a vehicle to actually get traction with their pages and their shows and everything.
I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Is like, if you're gonna do it for viewers, then do it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's like because when you allow such toxicity
Uh huh.
inside of your podcast, then this is what happens, right? Eventually, that toxicity is going to get overwhelming, and
Yeah.
then people are not going to want to watch a show anymore. So, but like, this men and women bashing, and then does those same people turn around that's bashing the men and bashing black men and bashing black women, then you turn around and say, oh, the community needs to come together. The community can't come together because you bashing the black men and you bashing the black women.
Is there things that they say that need to be said though?
Um, honestly, no. Because here's the thing, right? Honestly, no. Because like I said, when the bashing happens,
Uh,
most of it be around the topic of gender roles,
yeah.
right? So for instance, a lot of people has this thought in their mind where things are still 1960s,
Right.
where I make the bread, I bring the bread home. I come in the house, kick my shoes off. I expect dinner on the table. I
Right.
expect the kids be in bed. By boom, bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? It's 2022. You know, you might find a woman, or a man who adhere to those things, or why can't it be both? Why can't it be a team, a teamwork type of thing? You know what I'm saying? And
I think in
yeah,
the black community, we've been practicing that for a long time, though.
exactly. Because honestly, that's where I grew up at. You know what I'm saying? That's where I grew up. My grandfather was the guy who worked. Who worked his ass off. He came home, there was dinner made. The kids was doing their homework and they was in bed by a certain time. That was my grandfather. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I grew up and that's what I seen. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, that's not the kind of household that I want. I mean, sure, it'd be great, right? Like it'd be good. What I'm saying, to come home and I had to worry about the shit, but at the end of the day, it's like when I'm at work, what I'm saying, my whole thing is coming home to a stable home.
Right.
Regardless of what the stable stipulation is to you or to me, it's a stable home. My kids are safe, my wife is safe, my house is stable, there's nothing out of place, there's no fires, there's no natural disasters. It's safe. I
Right.
can go to sleep just off that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of these guys have this thing in their head where you just have to, hey, I expect a meal on the table.
All right. So here's the thing in the partnership concept, right? Even in that, that still works, right? So if I'm working and I'm working hard and you're done work for the day, even though you were working hard, you're going to say, yo, let me, you know what I'm saying? She's going to say, let me fix this food and make sure he eats because he's busy working hard. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, right? So if you know your lady wasn't in a position to cook and she's tired as shit for whatever, I don't know what your lady does, but if your lady is a professional or whatever, or even if she's a homemaker and she just did a whole lot, she's prepared a fucking birthday party for two and all types of shit or whatever, and you see she knocked out and it's time for lunch or breakfast, you're gonna say, yo, you want to eat what I'm eating? You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Not a big deal to cook food.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, for
It's
your mate and shit. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's not a big deal, right? Like for instance, another scenario is that I hear a lot is the what was it? What's the scenario that you hear a lot when it comes to like black couples? What the women ain't doing or what the men ain't doing.
Black couples, a myth that we hear a lot. It's a good question. So I don't know, because I think we hear a lot about why these people aren't in relationships and not about what they're doing when they're in them. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
when we
true.
say about the bashing and shit, I always hear this is why you're single. I don't ever hear nobody complaining about the actual relationship, to be
Right.
honest.
And honestly, I'm gonna say this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna act like I got all the answers and shit, right?
Yeah.
But I've been the guy. I've been the guy where, I've put myself in a place where I wasn't ready to be. You know what I'm saying? And, I missed out on an opportunity of, happiness. You know what I'm saying? So I just tell people that when you get in a relationship, period, make sure that you are good with yourself. All right. It's okay to care for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to be selfish when it's yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, like, make sure that you are good with yourself mentally, because everybody who gets in a relationship probably just aren't there mentally. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I had to learn that the hard way. I had
That
to learn it the hard way.
that comes first. You're right.
I had to learn that the hard way. And now I'm in the relationship with the woman who understood that. You know what I'm saying? Who understood that, and and seen a side of me, that she been waiting to see. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So
I'm happy for you both. I just want to say that. You know what I mean?
thank you, man. I appreciate it. And this is what I be trying to, preach to, guys that I see every day. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no easy road. Let me tell you that. It ain't no easy road, but you got to make sure that your mental is safe. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you are ready to be in a relationship. Because
I
a
got a question.
relationship, go
I got a
ahead.
question. You familiar with the great comedian Patrice O'Neal?
Yeah.
He has a concept where he believes men should womanize before they ever settle down. They should know what it is to womanize. They should know what it is to get their dick wet and sleep with everything. You know what I mean? That they possibly can. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
What do you feel about that? You think that's part of it as well? As you get your mind right, before you get your mind right,
I think that that's the problem.
speak.
I think that's the problem. Because here's the thing: if all you want is sex, communicate that. You know what I'm saying? But what I see that a lot of people do is if they want sex, they have to do this thing where they have to do shit like they're in a relationship.
Yeah,
You introduce it to the family. You start paying for shit. You staying over the house more than you need to. So now to
got clothes over there.
yeah. So in people who's living outside, they see that you're in a relationship, and in that person mind that you're with, you're in a relationship. But to you, uh, I'm just smashing. That's all. But then you get mad. Then you get mad when that person says, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? This my shorty or whatever, or this my dude or whatever." And
All
now
right,
you,
but you're right about that. But to give Patrice O'Neal his credit, he wasn't talking about like the fuck nigga who got to lie about it, right? He was just saying get it out your system. You know what I'm saying? Being able to, because you're right, you got to communicate that kind of shit. And she said, communication is key. If I'm tired and I'll let him know, he will pick up, and vice versa. I agree.
absolutely.
But you see what I'm saying? So say the guy who doesn't have to lie about it. He's just the concept. Patrice O'Neal was saying that he should go out there and sleep with as much women before he settled down. That's what I'm asking. And you can decline to answer. You know what I mean? But
I mean, honestly, if you want to be a bachelor, then cool. But
good thing you said if you want to be, because not
yeah,
everybody wants to be,
if
right?
you want to be a bachelor, then cool. But don't get mad at the woman when she hear that your body count is high. She don't want to fuck with you.
Ooh. So he finally meet the one of his life, the one of his dreams rather. She like, yo, I heard you was a hoe already.
Right.
Fuck like four of my homegirls from work.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And a lot of people want to say, oh, but that's like that happened like 5 years ago. It don't matter. Like
Right.
people say why do people ask about body count? Because I want to know if you out there. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to know if you out there. I don't necessarily care about your body count, but I
Right.
want to know if you out here being safe and not being a fuck nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that matters.
Right. Okay. All right.
But no, yeah, I do see what Patrice O'Neal is saying. But again, if you're going to be a bachelor,
No,
also
no,
accept.
know the ramifications. Know what can
Right,
happen.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Know the outcomes of being a bachelor. You might meet you might see a woman that you say, "Oh, damn, she caught my eye. I want to try this one. I want to try to see if it's time that I can settle down." And when you guys get to talk to her, you see that she sees that with you it's a pattern, and she falls back, and you're upset because you think that it shouldn't matter because you was just trying out your bachelor card.
Yo, I ain't gonna front though. I know a lot of people who are a lot of men. I'm gonna say I know a lot of homeboys who are like single and not happy about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, yo,
Hmm.
it's nothing out here. Like they feel there's nothing out there. And I would imagine there's a lot of women with that same feeling, right? So do you think that's what those people who are doing the bashing, that's what they're playing on? Because like you said, it could always be a subtext to it. Like even if you're going to use that concept to get the views and get the people in your show or whatever, have some type of solution, right? But do you think
Mhm.
that's what's bringing all of them, the drama or the fact that they're looking for a solution?
You hit the nail on the coffin, bro. You know what I'm saying? You hit the nail on the coffin. And I'm gonna say this: people who say there's nothing out there, that's bullshit. Okay,
Uh-huh,
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
uh-huh.
If you
I'm
feel
gonna have
like
to
there's,
agree with you. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
if you think there's nothing out there for you, then you live with that profile. You live with that profile. But don't just say it's nothing out here, because there is something out there. You don't want to work for what's out there. That's the problem. You don't want to work for what's out there. And the woman I'm with now, honestly, she we work together to get where we are now.
Mm-hmm,
This was a teamwork thing.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about the past, and we talked about the past, and we build in the future, and keep building for the future. You
right,
gotta work. You gotta work for happiness. Happiness just doesn't fall in your lap.
right.
Happiness is a job. You work for it.
It's a,
You
it's
work
a
for it, and you reap the benefits of it.
Yeah, and it's a decision. It's a personal decision, right? You can't be happy. No one else can make you happy. You gotta be happy first and foremost, right? So,
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's like people who say there's nothing out there. There's something out there for everybody. You just gotta be willing to lay the bricks and do the mason work. Get your shoes dirty, get your elbows gritty. You gotta be willing, because when you jump into when you jump into a relationship that you really, really want, that you really want to work for, you're gonna see that there's challenges. You're gonna see that there's obstacles. And it's up to you and that person that you're with to figure out whether you guys want to fight through those obstacles or just go your separate ways.
right,
And this is how I look at it.
right. Love somebody that you're willing to get hurt over. Basically.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely a decision to put in that work. Though I agree. Couldn't have
You
said it
know,
no better, man.
that's most definitely, most definitely. We got two more topics that we're going to talk about. That was the topic of the night. It's two more quick topics that I do want to talk about. Something real quick. One of the things is E40 was doing an interview with Jalen Rose recently, and he said that Busta Rhymes will murder Eminem in the verses. So, Logic, what do you feel about this? Because I'm an Eminem fan.
You
So
are?
I think murder. I don't know about that. Would it be a nice versus? Sure. I don't know about murder. I think that's a stretch.
I ain't gonna murder. He will murder him, bro. He thought he's right, man. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, you know what I mean. I think, I think they're gonna show love to each other, but I feel like, for one, Busta Rhymes' catalog is longer. It dates back further, so that's going to be something Eminem doesn't have on his side. You know what I mean? So, or if all the golden age heads is there, which they will be, and they're going to be in attendance, whether virtually or in the building, if this really happens, they're going to want to hear what's the scenario and shit like that. So when that happens, he can't really match that. You know what I mean? And then when he bring it back to when Eminem started in the game for real, when we really started hearing from Eminem, even on the underground level, if he take it from then to now, it's still going to be a problem. And Busta Rhymes' performance, his performance game is unmatched, man. So he's going to have a problem with that as well.
I feel you. One of the things that E40 did bring out that made me think is he's right. It really boils down to the demographic, right? E40 said that the reason why is because Busta Rhymes has a lot of hits that you can play in clubs,
Yeah, that's true.
right? And it's about what you play and at the time that you play it. And right now with Eminem, I mean, you don't really have club bangers. You know what I'm saying? Eminem really doesn't have radio hits. You know what I'm saying? It's like songs that you probably won't hear on the radio. You probably heard it on the radio, like a release type thing, but you
Yeah,
don't hear.
one or two joints that's Middle America radio.
Yeah, like just like he has a few that you can loop on the radio, time after time, but you're not going to hear like "White America" being on the loop,
Right,
which is one of his best singles.
right.
You ain't gonna hear "White America" being on a loop on the radio. You're not going to hear "Forgot About Dre" on the loop on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I think that's where Busta Rhymes will win at, because I mean I don't have to say it. Busta Rhymes got a lot of club bangers. You know what I'm saying? Like he has a lot of club bangers. But this will be a versus that I am looking to see. So if they do make it official, I'm definitely in there like swimwear.
I don't think they're gonna do it, man. I don't think they're gonna do it because, like I said, Busta's catalog outdates Eminem's too much. You know what I mean? Like Busta's catalog, we first heard him in what, like early '90s, bro. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we didn't start hearing about Eminem till like '98 type shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's true.
I don't know. I don't know, brother. But if it happens, I'm definitely gonna watch because I feel like as a lineup they are entertaining, and I do give Eminem his props, but I do I'm more on the Lord Jamar side of the game when he say nobody's driving around listening to that shit. You know, maybe back then I would have listened to some of that shit in a whip, but right now I would probably skip 99% of Eminem shit if it came on my Pandora list. To be honest with you, you know what I mean? While I'm in the
Most definitely.
while I'm in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? He got some shit that I know if he perform, he gonna blow him away. Like you said, White America. Of course, when he do the shit, Guilty Conscience, he gonna blow him away with that, right? And there's a few joints he gonna blow him away. And of course, he got skills, so he's gonna be able to do the rapidy rap shit. He's gonna be able to
Mhm.
hang in there, but Buster would still murder him, yo.
Most definitely. One last topic is sexual comfortability in 2022. Um, so this
Explain.
top.
Explain.
So what I mean by sexual comfortability, right, is people who, like, I've seen a lot of things that was different. You know what I'm saying?
Got a retro comment. Got a retro. Let you gather yourself again and come and
Yeah.
reintroduce the sexual. What you
So
call this sexual? What is it?
sexual comfortability
Yeah, we
in
gonna get it.
2022.
All right, but what my
So
man say?
real M fans knew about him since '96, but Buster wins because his best songs are all singles. M doesn't have as many singles.
All right, so
Exactly.
two more years. I give you that too, because M definitely was doing this thing on the underground. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was doing this thing on the underground before he got with the outsiders. When he got with the outsiders, they definitely, you know what I mean, was dropping shit. He definitely was buzzing since I would say mid '90s. I'll give you that, but Buster was on the radio in like probably 91, 90, like you said,
Exactly.
with them singles on other singles that were just fucking. Come on, man, it's crazy. It's crazy with Buster.
All right. So sexual comfortability, right? What do I mean by that? So
Yeah.
what I mean is it can mean different things to different people, right? It can mean like your core sexual confidence, the comfortability in your body, knowing that you deserve pleasure, or it could just be, what you do in the bedroom with your significant other. Some people might, throw a red flag on you because they think that, how the world thinks nowadays, or it's just, of, seeing, being able to listen or being able to support something without having your sexuality challenged. You know what I'm saying? So this goes back to a lot of things, right? Like, in 2022, we seen Twitter get the hype where Boosie and Lil Nas X was going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Or, just in general, like something that's at home where, like the whole eat ass situation, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like one thing that I've seen, it was in Clubhouse too, you know what I'm saying, was, if you eat ass, then you get your ass ate. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm like, that shit ain't true. You know what I'm saying? That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's a very vague statement. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, man, look, whatever you do in the comfortability in your own bedroom is what you do. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to broadcast it, then you can. If not, then then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I think that people just need to focus on what they do in the bedroom versus what other people do. Yeah.
I think to add on to the topic, if I can add anything to it, I would say most, and it's easy for me to say because I don't feel I have any like anything that's out the norm as a as a quirk like that. But um, people are only going to ridicule you if you're the type of person to be public with what you do in your bedroom, right? So from once you're that type of person, no matter what you're talking about yourself, you got to be open to the ridicule when you open up to the public. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
part.
yeah, so it's really nobody's business. But then at the same time, I still say it's easy for me to say because I'm not going to get triggered by a title like that on Clubhouse, right? Because I don't do neither, right? So
Right.
I'm, so I'll be like, whatever, right? But somebody who do eat ass or might be triggered, or someone who get their ass ate might be like, what is it? Why the fuck they talking about me? I don't, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But I think we live in the most freest our society has ever been. So I think we way past the part where people could feel demonized for their quirks and shit. People gonna say what they're gonna say, and people gonna stand up for it on the flip side of the coin, right? So no matter what it
Right.
is, got Trick Daddy,
Absolutely.
you got Trick Daddy with Eat the Booty Gang and all this shit. You know what I mean? So you got if that's your thing, you got allies. You know what I mean?
If you aren't taking it for them, why
Yeah.
does it matter? Exactly. Exactly. And absolutely right. So now on the other side of the coin, right? The sexual comfortability is, you know, um, being comfortable with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I've been hearing a lot, on Twitter mainly, is that people are more concerned of how they look, versus what they can give, right? And I tell people, man, look, just be confident in your body, be confident in your skin. It's very important. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you're not confident in your skin, to find some confidence. You know what I'm saying? Do what you need to do to find that confidence, whatever that confidence is. But just make sure that you own your truth. You know what I'm saying? You own your truth. Whether
Yeah.
whether it's surgery, whether it's whatever you feel like you need to do to be comfortable in your own skin, then let that be you. You know what I'm saying? Let that be you. Don't give a fuck what anybody else got to say. Don't nobody give a fuck. Everybody's opinion is like an asshole. Everybody got one. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just, like a lot of people, like even the closest friends might say, oh, well, you don't need surgery. You don't need to do anything for your face. It's just better just get it done. If then people don't like it, then fuck them.
If that's what you want to do.
You know what I'm saying? You want to change your nose to look like Michael Jackson, then fuck. That's own your truth. Like that's all I'm saying. Just own your truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, salute. Yeah.
Um, why we talking about sexual comfortability? I forgot about this topic. My bad, y'all. So the last thing we're gonna talk about is Chris Brown lawsuit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so Chris Brown is facing another lawsuit for millions of dollars. I believe $4 million, if I'm not mistaken. Um, actually, yeah, $20 million. $20 million lawsuit for a rape allegation. He was accused of drugging and raping a woman in 2020, in December 2020, and yes, definitely, yeah, making sure you are happy is the number one priority. It's the number one priority, definitely. But about Chris Brown, he was accused of drugging and raping a woman in December of 2020, and the woman, who was a musician as well as a model, a dancer, and a choreographer, alleged that she and Chris Brown has chatted about her music before, and gave her a mixed drink that she believed was drugged due to her sudden explained charge of consciousness. Um, Jane Doe then alleges that Brown threw her on the bed where he raped her. Um, she says that the next day Brown texted her to say he did not remember the encounter well and told her to take an emergency contraception when she did. She stated that she met up with Chris Brown twice more after the initial encounter to discuss music. Once in 2021, where a female producer was present, and again in August 2021. During their August encounter at Chris Brown's home, the artist allegedly became irate when she refused to go upstairs with him to his bedroom. Whew.
I'm reading this shit as you reading it. I looked it up too.
Um.
Not to laugh.
Man, I don't know what to say about this. Like,
That's what you got to say about it. There's nothing. Is nothing you can say about it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are going to say shit about it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are gonna, make, videos and all types of shit and get Tasha Cade and shit. But listen, this is the thing, man. We see what she's alleging. It's fucked up if it's true. It's fucked up if it's not true.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Both ways. And then so we can't get caught up in the because people are gonna take a side too. Oh, he definitely did that shit. Then you got have people saying, well, what the fuck Chris Brown out of all niggas gotta rape anybody for? He's Chris fucking Brown, right? Listen, we here now. It's being alleged. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's not true, but if it's not true, that's fucked up. And if it is true, that's fucked up. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing that scares me, and has to do with what happens in court. Whether he is found guilty, it's still a possibility that he didn't do this shit. But then it's still a possibility that he did do this shit. At
More.
the at the end of the day,
Yeah, my fault.
no. At the end of the day, we would not.
So Justice said the difference is if it's not true, he's still effed up. So if it's not true, so that's what I was about to say, right? And Virginia Sim says this sounds like a case of post nut clarity, right? That could be very well be the case, right? But we don't know. But the whole thing is like, what really matters is going to be the court of public opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, that's what really matters. Is he still going to be able to sell his music? Is his fans still going to be able to still want to buy his music? We seen motherfuckers not leave R. Kelly's side, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that's the same people that was buying his records that we seeing, because who buy the records, the white folks. So I'm seeing a lot of black folks acting like they still support a celebrity, but I'm not. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that's what it's really going to come down to. Do his fans still believe him? You know what I mean? The ones who buy
Absolutely.
his fucking music, not just the ones who want to be stand next to him, take a picture and all that shit. And then of course, you got major appearances that you got to do. At that level of the game. That
Hmm.
if you don't do them, you can kind of fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? That they will not invite you to if they believe you really did that shit. You know?
Yeah, the thing that's bad about this is just like he said. The difference is if it's not true, he's still fucked up. Is that automatically when this came out, people already painted a picture because of the situation with Rihanna. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
everybody's like, "Oh, he did that shit because look what he did to Rihanna." Like, this is the type of nigga he is. I'm like,
But we
that
don't know, man. We can't. That's what I'm saying.
we still don't know what happened with him and Rihanna. We still don't know the story.
I'm not saying
So
shot at nobody publicly, man. We don't know these niggas, man.
exactly,
Tell you,
exactly. You know
I'm
what I'm
not saying
saying?
I'm not going to charge nobody, and I'm not going to say nobody is innocent. You know what I mean? Because we don't know. We don't fucking know. But this
Yeah.
is the one thing we do know. In 2022, because this happened, they said it happened allegedly in 2020, right?
Hmm.
Yo, if you got some fucking paper, no matter who you are, even if you don't got paper, but especially if you a target, if you got paper and shit like that, and you know what I mean, you out there, you in the ministry and all that, and you're a public figure. Yo, relax, yo. You can't have sex with nobody who's even drunk a fucking mystic, nigga. Nobody can't even drink a wine cooler around you and you have sex with them after. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Unless you're in a relationship with that person. You know,
definitely, most
salute,
definitely.
salute the ANS. My man said, what I don't like is women can just come from mad throwback years ago and say this. Can men do this to a female? Laugh out loud, but we don't know. Listen, man, we know that part, but if you say that in conjunction with Chris Brown, then they're gonna say ANS stands up for rapists. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On natural substance. So, we know that. So what you gotta do, because I know him, that's an artist, you know what I mean? I film one of his videos, that's my guy who's in one of my films and all that. What you gotta do as an artist, or even just as a man of some type of stature and all that, yo, don't fuck nobody who just finished smoking the Zaza and they eyes is red and they looking
Yeah,
tight.
that's another thing. That's another thing that I do want to tell. Celebrities. You know what I'm saying is if you know that they're under the influence,
Leave it alone.
stay the fuck away from them. Like stay away from them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, she had a few to drinks, but I think she was tipsy. Stay the fuck away from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wait,
Stay the fuck away.
they popping pills and all types of shit. Like I read the story too while you was reading it. She said she was mumbling for him to stop, and she was high. They both woke up. She talking about he don't remember the night. Nah, man, you can't afford to not remember no fucking nights. You can't afford to do that. You're a black man first. Nah, you can't afford to not remember a night.
Yeah, it's just crazy. We have another one. She can remember all that shit, but gonna say she don't know if he put something in the drink. Like when she was groupie and he cut ties.
All right. See, now she's still gonna buy his album. So that's all that matters for him at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. People are too invested in these strangers' lives. Yeah,
The court of public opinion.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's the shit, yo. It's the court of public opinion. It don't
You know,
it's fucked up to say, but it don't even matter if the shit be true or not. It's the public opinion, yo.
women being drunk is the common denominator.
Yo, listen. If anybody can hear this, if we can save one life here at the Black Kings podcast, listen, we can save one life. If you're a man of any type of stature and all that,
If
please.
she's under, if she's under the influence,
And you
stay the fuck away from her. Like
and
yeah.
you don't know her like that, y'all not in a relationship, and y'all didn't. No, it's not what you do. It's not what y'all
It's
do.
not. It's not, man. It's like the only thing that we know that we really know who did it is that nigga R. Kelly. I know that nigga did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that nigga R. Kelly,
Like we know that nigga did it. You know what I'm saying? But
he did
I
that shit.
mean, like I said, we don't know the full story. Even if he is found guilty or not guilty, we still won't know the story. So I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck to think. The only thing I do know is niggas stay away from these chicks that are drunk and under the influence or popping pills. Stay the fuck away from them. Cause it's 2022. It only takes one thing to fuck up your whole career. It only takes one thing to fuck up your whole career. So
Or not. We living in the last days. People are crazy. They might still fuck with you or not.
facts,
But you
facts.
don't want to pay. You don't want to be dragged through no legal shit or for something that you thought was consensual. Nah, don't. The pussy will be
Yeah,
there in the morning. The pussy will
yeah,
still be there
yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah, because listen, that cancel culture is real.
Yeah, but that
Uh,
shit's getting played out. Keep it real. That shit's getting played out, and they're playing themselves out now.
yeah,
Keep it
they
real, right?
absolutely are.
They're
I
playing themselves.
think I think they're now phasing out because now we seeing that you know what I'm saying, like just a bunch of older white women being mad at the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's not that serious. Shut the fuck up. We don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, these guys be drunk too. They never come into account though. Yeah, yeah, ladies, you know a nigga drunk, stay away from him. Stay away from that. Look, we just said, we just look. Stop bashing each other, guys. Got women and guys. If you see the other party is drunk and under the influence, stay the fuck away from them. Like you just
Like A&S said, it's no dudes really putting out no rape cases though.
because why would they?
You never heard, because for the same reason a groupie would, right? Why would? But we never heard no man saying, "Yo, Oprah raped me under the influence and shit" in 1976 type shit. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, because honestly, and I hate to say that, is because in this day and age, we live in a world where a guy saying, oh, Oprah raped me back in '96, people gonna say, nigga, got the bullshit, nigga. Ain't nobody believe that shit, nigga. Oprah raped you in '96. Yeah, I was an intern for her, man. Like, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, man. It was Oprah. You should be happy.
Listen,
Nah, no, I wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying? No.
it's gender roles, man. You got to be able to say that.
Exactly.
Got to be able to say Oprah jerked me off in the office one time and I ain't want it, but I wanted to keep my job.
you know,
Allegedly.
that's crazy, man. Allegedly, you know what I'm
You don't
saying?
know. You
So
just talking shit, man. This guy don't exist.
I know. Look, everybody probably looking at Google right now. It's like, did Oprah really rape somebody back in '96?
Oprah really? Oh man, that would be crazy though. That would be
That'd be fucking crazy if something does come out, man. That's crazy, but I doubt it because, like I said, this is the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, this is the only time that we have for y'all today. Next week we're gonna discuss. We're gonna have a very very touchy topic. So I hope you guys are ready for this. This is mental health inside of the black man's mind. So for our black men who are suffering from mental health, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about it. I don't mean to laugh, Virginia Slim, you're fucking crazy, man. It was me. I confess. I'm okay at being the source of wars.
Like the
But
song was in the limo. I went to the after party.
yeah, right. But next week we're gonna be talking about mental health in the African amongst the African American males. It's a very touchy topic, so I hope you guys are ready for this. We're gonna have a few special guests. Logic, if you want to join me again, just let me know. I got you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Um,
open invite.
Logic, Logic, thank you again for joining me for this episode. Like I
Thank you
said,
for
we
having
are back. We are back in full effect. Logic, let them know where they can find you at, man.
me. Well, that's my IG handle right there in the lower third. And of course, salute to the Ranchers Union as always. The
Salute,
Ranchers Union,
salute.
on YouTube, ranchersunion.com. Fuck with us.
Most definitely, most definitely. You guys know what it is. You can find the BKE podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Just at the BKE podcast, as you see it right here. Make sure you give us a follow. Make sure you give us a like. It don't cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? We see you guys next week. You guys have a great evening. And make sure you guys, stay safe out there. It's burr out here.